My best advice are the resources. I took a long time to actually dig into the VA resources that were available. I kind of got in my mindset like I could do it on my own. And then I remember hitting a wall right when I was trying to transition out of SNC, that I was having a hard time trying to find another job and I needed help. I needed better help with my resume, my civilian resume at that. My federal resume was up there, but I needed help with my civilian resume. And there are a lot of resources out there within the VA that are wanting to help veterans go through this process. I say lean on them heavy because they are all there to support you.
Welcome to the 7 Eagle Group podcast, your home for inspiring stories, valuable tips, and great advice from hard-charging veterans so you can lead a more rewarding and lucrative post-military career.
All right. Hey, everybody. It is Jordy and Alexis from 7 Eagle Group. We are so fired up for today's conversation. We have an amazing Air Force veteran on with us today, and she works as the product operation lead at one of America's top brands, which is Lululemon. I was just telling her my wife's closet is filled to the brim. They make such amazing stuff. They do athletic wear and lounge wear. It started with focusing on women, but I know you guys are now expanding to men. Just a real high quality product. But anyway, she's the product operation lead. She manages 6 people, handles all the inventory, and lives in New Windsor, New York, which is right off the Hudson River. And then also had some other interesting jobs in HR and recruiting, and we'll get into all that. But we are fired up today for Jasmine Barker. Well,
Thank you guys for having me here. I'm so excited.
that's awesome. So why don't we start out with your military experience? You mentioned you grew up in Jersey, and what made you decide to join the Air Force, and what was that experience like for you?
I'm gonna be honest. So it was a little shocking for my mother when I decided to tell her that I wanted to join the military. She was kind of a little hesitant, but I told her I kind of wanted to travel. I wanted to see the world. I wanted to get an education and have other opportunities. So she supported me 100%. I joined initially out of California. I kind of moved from Jersey to Arizona with family, and from there I joined and went to basic training. And I tell people this, they're a little bit shocked. I joined the military to be a firefighter. So I truly enjoyed the training, but it is physically challenging sometimes. You had to do a firefighter's PT, where you had to run a whole course within a certain amount of time, which is physically challenging for a lot of the women. But I mean, some women knock it out and could do it, but I didn't. So I got reclassed into HR, which is personnel for the Air Force. It's 3S, 3 Foxtrot now. But it was a great experience, going to tech school, meeting people, learning more about the job, meeting an array of people. Like I hate to say it, I had blinders on living in Jersey, that I met people from all walks of life, Idaho, North Dakota, Arkansas, Texas. So just to have that diversity and just have everyone's different perspective about how they grew up or how they handle things has like definitely molded me into like the person I am today, because that allows me to be a better person, a better daughter, sister, wife, definitely a better coworker and a better leader.
That is awesome. Alexis, you got a question for Jasmine?
Yes, I do. My question is, when you were in the process of your transition, what was the hardest part for you? Did you know how to write resumes? Did you know where to look to when you wanted to find a job? Did you even know what you wanted to do after the military?
Absolutely not. I was terrified. The decision came about for me to kind of transition out the military is that my husband and I were starting a family, and we both were kind of deploying. We were kind of passing off the kid. I hate to say it that way, but it was he would deploy, come back for a couple months. I left out, and in the midst of me being gone, he would get tasked, and it was just like I can't keep doing this. I'd rather be at home. And I kind of sat down with him and made the decision that I think it's time for me to kind of step out. He's been in longer than I was, and I was just hitting I was just hitting my 7, and I was like, "I think this is it for me." Um, I wanna kind of ensure that our family base is strong, and I didn't have a plan. I had no plan, no clue, no idea. But I will say that the TAPS program, transition assistant program with the Air Force, was phenomenal. We had a great group of people come in. They taught you how to write civilian resumes, federal resumes. You can schedule one-on-one time. The VA came in and discussed all the benefits that were available. So I wasn't as nervous because I didn't have not one plan, but talking with them, scheduling those one-on-one sessions allowed me to get my federal resume together. And before I even left the military, I had an offer for a GS position. So it was just leaning on those resources during that time truly helped me like kind of brush away that fear and that nervous, like, leap of faith that I was taking, saying, "I think I'm ready, I'm gonna get out," and kind of laid that foundation for me to have a better plan.
Did you I know you started in HR and recruiting, right? Was that the GS job you're talking about? What did you know you wanted that path when you were serving and this is what I wanna do for my career, or did you sort of stumble upon it? How much thought went into that path?
I was young when I joined the military, so I was kinda one of them gung ho. I was like, "Whatever they give me, I'm gonna take it." So that's why when firefighter came, my recruiter called and said, "Hey, you said anything?" Firefighter was the first thing I said, "Okay, I can run into a burning building."
No problem.
Um, yeah, no problem. But time changed and I kind of got put into the personnel career field. And from there, it just manifested. I enjoyed the different areas I was in. I gave in processing briefings, meeting new people, kind of giving them that ease as they're coming from a different base or tech school, just to, hey, welcome, here's some resources. Don't feel come back to my office and ask those questions to I did relocation briefings and just meeting different people and giving them that kind of breath of fresh air. They're like, I know this is a lot. I know this is nerve wracking, but I'm here to help you and kind of walk through this process with you. So, any questions, don't hesitate. So, I enjoyed the career field and it kind of like pushed me into other avenues. So, when I got out, I was put into another position where I was working more HR, more of the program side of it. But I had a great team to work with. The commanders, everyone was amazing. I couldn't ask for a better GS position when I transitioned out. It was just the communication was there, the support was there, and to be able to still have give people that breath of fresh air. Like people walked in, they're nervous, it's like, "Am I supposed to be here for the first day?" And I'm like, "Yes, just have a seat. It's okay." And I always used to have like mints and stuff at the front desk, so it's just like, "Have a mint, just take a seat." And even now, as a product operation lead, I love it. It's just so funny. Like we'll get all these boxes and everyone gets so just so emotional. I'm like, hey, let's take it easy. We're gonna process as much as we can. I'll ensure we'll take accountability. We'll do the notes. Just we're not gonna stress. And it's just I just truly enjoy being in that HR position and even in this new role, taking that ability to talk and communicate with people and listen of like literally actively listen to people and hear their concerns and their issues and see what I can do as I like move up in my career as a started out as an educator, now I'm a leader. So now I'm like, hey, what can we do to make things better within this career field? What can we do to hear people out and ensure that they want to stay?
My turn. So my question is, when you, I know you said you had your GS job, but when you got a job within the civilian world, did you have any, or a civilian job, did you have any worries about fitting in or meeting new friends? Because I know a lot of time with different service members, they do have a problem with fitting in and making friends because they don't feel like many people can really relate to them. So did that happen to you?
Oh, it did. I remember calling my mom. I had took a year off after my GS job. We grew our family, and I we were moving from Japan to New Mexico. And I was like, I got to get a job. I can't. I'm not a stay at home mom. I got to get out there. So I applied for my first job, and I remember I was so nervous. I was like, I'm so like structured by AFIs and chain of command that is this going to work? Because it kind of continued in the GS job. There was a chain of command, there was those AFIs. I'm like, I don't know if this is going to work. And once I got hired and my first day, I just it was a breath of fresh air. that the job that I took in the civilian world was a contract position for the military. It was dealing with an aircraft that the Air Force does not produce. So they needed a bunch of mechanics to work on the plane. So most of the mechanics, 90% of the mechanics were retired military. So it was like just stepping out of the uniform from GS into a role where it was a lot more easy. They adhered by guidances, AFIs, structure. It was a military contract, so we had to ensure that we were complying with what the military needed as well as what the contract said we had to do. It was great, and my manager was non-military, but she was a military wife, so bonding with her was amazing. It was like a slow transition for me from coming out the military to taking another civilian job, that there was still those differences out of the military where we had to adhere by corporate rules and corporate standards, where it was kind of like, okay, well, the military wouldn't do that, or that's not the way it would normally be done. But it allowed me to like understand that things change and just to accept some changes and understand those changes and dig deep into guidances and different SOPs that the company had to understand how things operate. But that was the best transition. I know it's not like what some people want to hear, but sometimes it is great that you'll connect with some of those people. A lot of military wives work there, a lot of people that have never did anything with the military. So having those conversations with not non-military people were exciting to hear their journey, to hear their story, how they got to here was very interesting. And it was a great experience. I look back on it at Sierra Nevada Corporation and just was super excited that they gave me that opportunity to work there. I worked there for 4 years doing their technical administrative assistant, which is kind of like a HR assistant. For that time working with them, ensuring that they deployed. It was a great experience.
Well, let's switch gears now to Lululemon. How did that come about? Like, did you have your sights set on that company? Did you see a job opening? You're like, I can do that. So talk a little about that, getting into their company, what that interview process was like for you, and then just tell everyone a little bit more about the company and what you do at Lululemon.
Okay. So I was transitioning from my last company. I worked at Intel. I was a recruiting coordinator there. When I kind of transitioned out, I was kind of taking time to myself to kind of figure out what I want to do. Do I want to go back in HR? Do I want to take a step up into recruiting? Do I want to find another spot? Um, and in the midst of me kind of trying to write my plan, I was like, well, I can't sit around the house writing a plan. I need to, get out and do something. So it was right around the seasonal time, right around the holidays, and I know a lot of places were looking, and Lululemon popped up. I just moved to the area, so I was like, "Hey, I could go over there and work part-time." So I applied. They had a great interview process. They did a screening. They used the STAR method with his situation, task, action, result result. Um, so that helps, especially with interviews, that knowing what kind of interview process they have definitely helps you kind of steer and structure your answers on how to give it to them in a detailed way of what they're trying to get from you when they ask those questions. So knowing that was very good. So it helped me kind of tailor my questions to what they were looking for, and they were all pleasant. Everybody from the screening with the recruiter to talking with the manager, the store manager, everything was amazing. The onboarding process was great. I initially started out as a guest experience lead, which that person would initially lead the floor, come up with the break schedule, manage money drop off, any issues that arise within the store. That's what the guest experience lead would do. And I was coming around a busy time, right before Black Friday and around Christmas time. So it was a lot to learn, but everybody from the store manager to all the educators that have been there for a long time did nothing but support. I'm a question person. I will ask a million and one questions to better understand. But everybody was there to answer all my questions, to walk me through different processes if I forgot, and then even show me where I can find, if no one was there to answer those questions, exactly where to find. They have a great SharePoint site that allows you to find the SOPs to walk you through each process and procedure. When I was doing a guest experience lead, I kind of had a different schedule and it kind of didn't work for my family life. So when the product operation lead position came over, it was for an AM shift. And I was like, I could work an AM shift. So, I applied. They already saw how my work ethic was on the floor and working with the team and working as a lead. So I had the interview process, same method, the STAR method, questions with a different group of people. Therefore, they had a more diverse group to talk and see who was the best candidate. And they initially gave me the position. That was kind of a step up for me because it was a 4 a.m. to 12 shift. I know, 4 AM. I'm normally a morning person, so it was just waking up a lot earlier than I normally wake up. But that allowed me to kind of be home with my family afterwards. But my first couple of weeks, I learned, I shadowed, everyone was there to support me. I learned from our assistant manager of operations who deals with all our budgeting operations. She taught me how to track different boxes coming in, who to contact if we had any issues, how to streamline different processes, to working with the educators that have been there for 5 years doing the same thing, how they fold, how they inventory, how they do the count. So it was an eye opener just to see not just working on the floor and how that operates, how everything maneuvers and operates in the back of the house. So how the product gets from point A to point B to being sold and purchased was great. And how we even in that, like if you ever have a chance to come up here, our store is not that big. Even in a small store, we do take online orders. So we're managing online orders as well as customers walking in. And to have such a great team. I worked with people that have been there for 8+ years on my team that are just motivated. They are dedicated to just ensuring the processes are done correct, ensuring that our counts are good, because when we do everything efficiently on our end, that allows the front of the house to work efficiently for us to put new product on the door floor and continue uh maintaining high standards that more people will come in and buy and we get a bonus. So it was kind of like that motivator of like, hey guys, if we stay motivated to the end goal, we get additional bonuses. So it was great. And I had a great time. It didn't feel like work because we would listen to music. Our conversation ranged from music to books to what we're doing on the weekend. So it was just a great experience and a great time. Now I'm trying to see if I can get another role within the company as their assistant manager of operations. So we'll see how that goes.
You'll get it. You'll get
Yeah.
it. My last question is, what is some advice that you can give to a service member who's transitioning or a veteran who is trying to figure out their next steps?
My best advice are the resources. I took a long time to actually dig into the VA resources that were available. I got in my mindset like I could do it on my own. And then I remember hitting a wall right when I was trying to transition out of SNC that I was having a hard time trying to find another job and I needed help. I needed better help with my resume, my civilian resume at that. My federal resume was up there, but I needed help with my civilian resume. And there are a lot of resources out there within the VA that are wanting to help veterans go through this process. I say lean on them heavy because they are all there to support you. I use the Wounded Warriors Foundation to help me with a lot of my resources. Higher Heroes helped. I dug into a lot of resources and it helped me. Honestly, it helped me get my first actual corporate position at a startup company because they redid my resume. They helped me with my interview. We did mock interviews. I got a mentor. They walked me through the different processes and the struggles, and they kept me motivated. They said that yes, this is hard sometimes, and they said, hey, we all go through it, and gave me other options and other programs that give free assistance to veterans, like to give you certifications. There are a lot of resources out there, and I think that sometimes we get blindsided, like we get too focused on, oh, I'm worried about making this transition, if I'm going to have a job, if I'm going to be able to make that money, that leaning into those resources help you kind of make a plan, structure a plan, and aim for it. So that is one of my best suggestions, my best advice is don't, if you need help, there are resources out there to help you and use them.
Yeah, that's great advice. I'm glad that you shared that. A lot of people get too proud to I want to do it on my own. I don't want to ask for help, but that's so important. There's so many civilians and veterans who are available to you. What's next for you, Jasmine? What do you have any long-term career plans you want to share?
I I am all over the place. I
Yeah.
was one of those kids that you would ask, "What do you wanna be when you grow up?" And I'm like, "I wanna be a vet and a brain surgeon and a chef and a movie star." So I am right now, I am all over the place. Um, Lululemon opened up a role that I would love to learn more about. It
Yeah,
works alongside of the operation manager who's doing the matrix and the budgeting, the
yeah,
schedules. So this would give me kind of a step up into the operational side of a business just to see how things within a large store operates and maybe potentially give me the opportunity to work at another location.
yeah,
Um, but at the same time, I'm just like my mind is so creative. Right now I'm working with small businesses to help with their content creation on social media. So I'm just dabbling in that and I'm thinking about writing a book too. So that's I'm like I am all
that
over
is
the
awesome. Is that a little, that's a little side gig? You like the social media stuff and doing that?
I
That's
do I do. I truly enjoy it. Before COVID, I wanted to be TikTok famous, but once once all the celebrities started going out there, I kind of said, "Oh, I can't compete against J Lo and Tia Moore, Maury." So I'm like, you know what? I'll take a break. But now just helping those who struggle with social media, just to go out there. I post stories, I do posts. Um, it's for artists. Like every time she goes out to an event, I ensure like I put her
Yeah,
artwork out, I help her with her Etsy. So it's just that I have another friend that I'm meeting up with to talk about her way, how she can get better on social media, what we can do to kind of market her skills. So it's just whatever comes my way. I don't say no to opportunity. I'm one of those like, hey, I learn new skills, I learn new opportunities. I don't know where it's
yeah.
gonna take me. So I just go with it.
Well, you're an impressive and amazing person, Jasmine. I can't thank you enough for sharing your story today with Alexis and me and our viewers. And we will put, if it's okay with you, we'll put your LinkedIn profile in the comments. So if anyone wants to chat further with Jasmine or needs a mentor or advice, I'm sure she'll be available to help you. But we wish you nothing but the best in your career. Congrats on all your success. You got a great attitude, and we can tell you're extremely talented and good at what you do. So I'm sure you're going to have nothing but an amazing career ahead of you. So we wish you nothing but success.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for this opportunity to be here and discuss my transition and the journey. And it's just been amazing to have the resources and the people and the support that I had to get here today.